What is up, fight fans? Welcome back to another episode of the MMAnomaly Show, No Filter. I am your host, Olin, aka MMAnomaly, and with me, as usual, is my wonderful co-host, Jive Turkey Nano. What's up, brother?
Yo, Olin, great to see you. Everybody in the chat, welcome. We made it. It's Friday Junior. Here we are.
Almost through another week. Almost time for another fight night. Super excited to go. Man, as the Blackato said, welcome back, my friend. It's the final countdown.
Nice. Way to pick me up there. Let's go. Just a couple more sleeps, huh? That's it.
Great way to start the show, man. Two more sleeps, as John Anik would say. Yeah. We are going to jump into UFC on ESPN, Strickland versus Magomedov, aka UFC Vegas. What is it, 67 now already?
Quite a few. Gosh. We're getting up there. Almost to my favorite number. Almost there.
Or sorry, 76. My gosh, we're up to 76. 67. I dyslexic the number there.
Flip them around a little bit.
So obviously we're going to go over the upcoming fights that are going to happen this Saturday. Before we get into that, we do have a little something to discuss here. We did have some very fun picks this last week. Quite a bit of shifting actually happened. Like only half of my bet counted because there was a DQ and there was a fight that didn't even happen out of the four. But you know, either way, we ended up making it happen. I made it rain just a little bit.
First off, give your flowers. Hats off to the guy over here. Let's go.
You've won more than I've won here lately, so I mean, I was due.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about. He had a great performance, as GSP would say. It's good stuff,
I was impressed with my performance.
How did you feel about it? Yeah, to elaborate, man. How does it feel?
It felt good. Just going over the picks that I had for last week here. So we had the under 1.5 on Trevor Peek versus Jose Mariscal. What a weird fight, man. Standing hammer fist. You had the Louisiana pistol whip, or I guess in this case the Alabama pistol whip.
Some thug jitsu, some street jitsu. There was a lot going on there.
There was a lot going on, man. That's not the one that mattered. The one that really mattered was this other 4-pick parlay here to the right. So Tetsuo Taira, obviously the elephant in the room, didn't even get to fight. Sucks. I hate to see it. His opponent missed weight. They called off the fight. I get it. I wouldn't want to fight a guy that missed weight either, but I digress. That one was cut. Brendan Allen, I knew that this man was money in the bank, and he proved me right. He got it done. He made it look very, very easy, if I'm being completely honest. He seemed to step ahead of Bruno Silva at every point of the fight. And then Ilia Topuria, again, I knew this guy was a superstar going into this, but for those that didn't realize how bright his star shines, they know now. He went in there and beat the brakes off Josh Emmett. You hate to see that happen to a veteran like Josh Emmett, but you know, it's Ilia's time to shine, and he proved that. Austin Lane versus Justin Tafa, man, I knew that this one was going to be short. I just didn't know the reason why. I assumed it was going to be because of a KO or TKO, not because of a nasty eye poke DQ, but I digress. Either way, we hit. Ended up turning, what was it? I believe I turned 3 units into 4. I'm happy with it, man. Now we're playing with a little bit of house money. We'll take it, and I think we're gonna have a pretty good run moving into this week.
Absolutely. Carry the momentum, brother. Let's go. We're both going to be in the win column. We're both getting net positive here, and we're both going to get on a little win streak, get a little turkey action going. We keep on moving. That's what we do around here. Yeah, man.
Absolutely, baby.
Absolutely. And I will say, you know, I mean, I don't know if you have my picks up there, but I gotta, you know, address the elephant in the room. You know, hey, a man of my word, that's what happens when you put all your eggs in one basket. Sometimes the basket breaks, you know, sometimes some of those eggs fall out of the basket, or someone steals the basket, like grandma's purse, you know what I mean? And that's how I felt this week. You know, it was a tough one. It was a learning lesson. I'm learning from this, right? You don't lose, you learn. And that's what I did here. I like 2-pick parlay, started with Macy Barber, felt good about her. She was the underdog, but she came through. She looked great. We talked about her on Tuesday. But to recap, she beat Amanda Ribas. She weathered the storm, and she finished her. It was fantastic. Excited to see what's next for Macy. And where the tables turned, where the turntabled, where I should have pivoted. You know, I loved Ilia Topuria going in. I will admit I was chasing the odds here. I should have went for the layup, not the 3-pointer. Should have went for Ilya straight up, but I thought, you know what? I think this is going to be under regardless. Then I realized Josh Emmett, man, that dude can probably go 25 rounds and not tap out. This guy is a machine. So lesson learned. What's up, Jen? Long time no see. And I do have my shot ready here. I missed it Saturday, so real quick, here's the adult beverage. And I will say I'm over 21.
Hold on. I'm not going to let you do a shot by yourself. I can't let you do a shot by yourself here.
Here we go. Yeah, it's getting spicy, y'all.
Hold on. Give me 1 second here. I just got to set it up for a solo nano action here for just a sec.
But yes, again, I did learn though, y'all, chasing the, a path to victory, chasing the over-unders, it's risky. It's risky business, right? I played with fire. I got a little burn. That's okay. So with that being said, again, me and Nolan, we've had this tradition for 3-4 years now since we started hanging out, watching the fights, working together back in the Yelp days. So we would meet up and, there's a bunch of fights going on. Usually it's at night. This weekend it was during the day. So I think that throws off our typical routine here, I'll admit. But we usually watch the fights. We get our predictions. Winner gets bragging rights. Loser has to take a shot of whatever alcoholic or adult beverage or any beverage of choice. If, maybe that's not your thing. We're degenerates. We drink around here. So we ended up doing it where, hey, you lose the fighter, you got to take a shot. And
here we are.
Some Saturdays it's great. Sometimes you walk out sober. Sometimes you walk out a little buzz. Sometimes I'm passed out on the couch, and that's just fine.
It's just okay. Sometimes we got to rewatch the fights the next day just to make sure we remember what we saw, right?
Absolutely.
I know that was me with the first Izzy versus Pereira fight. My God. I was like, did that really happen? Because I remembered 20 minutes of Israel Adesanya winning a fight. But then I remember blinking and being like, nope, there's no way. I'm just too drunk because I just think I saw a man that dominated for 24 and a half minutes get knocked the fuck out.
It caught up to you. It happens. It was not a dream. That was real life.
I was going to say, turns out it was real life. After seeing the fight again, I almost wanted to drink again.
Limit back to the bottle.
So, guys, we each got some picks wrong this last week. So, cheers to you folks out there.
To y'all.
Another fun week of fights.
Let's go. That was a fun one.
That was a fun fight card, to be completely honest.
I know.
I will say two things. A, I thought we were going to have a much higher finish rate than we did. Cheers, Jen. Appreciate you. I really thought we were going to have a much higher finish percentage than we did, right? That just wasn't the case. But I was correct in the fact that it was a fantastic night of fights.
It was.
Macy Barber versus, Amanda Hebas. That was just an incredible fight. These girls put on an absolute barn burner of a show. But if you guys want to check out all of that, all of us going over the last week's fights, make sure you check out the recap that we did on Tuesday, because now we are going to go ahead and jump into, from the bottom of the card here, Strickland versus Abus Magomedov. Starting at the bottom, this heavyweight fight's one that I'm really intrigued by. It's very interesting to me, Nano. We got Alexander Romanov coming in against Blagoy Ivanov. I feel like Alexander Romanov was somebody who came into the UFC and had just a crap ton of hype behind him. The guy's nickname is King Kong.
Dude looks the part. He looks scary.
Dude, A, if your nickname is King Kong, you're probably terrifying. B, if you're a white dude and you can get away with the nickname King Kong, probably a scary motherfucker, dude.
You got some swagger.
That's just the case. You got some swagger. Dude is 16-2, 6 KOs, 9 submissions, 1 decision, and his only 2 losses are by way of 1 decision and 1 TKO. Now, his last 2 fights are losses. He's 0-2 in his last 2 in the UFC. Before that, he was 5-0 in the UFC. So, tough run as of late for the last year and a half. But, guy has wins over Jared Vandera, Marcos Rogerio de Lima. Other than that, it's pretty slim pickings. But the guy is very dangerous. Across from him, you got Blagoy Ivanov, who, again, another terrifying guy. He's got like the visible surgical scar going across, I believe is like his chest. Every time I see him, I'm like, oh man, this guy looks like he's been in like gang wars or something. Trains at AKA, so I got to go for that guy to some extent, being an AKA homeboy myself. Again, you got somebody that's 1-3 in their last 4. However, his losses come by way of Augusto Sakai, Derek Lewis, and Marcin Tybura, all household names. The only person he beat in that mix, he happens to share that same win with his opponent, Alexander Romanov, and that win is over Marcos Rogério de Lima, which is why I pointed out that win. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this one. Like, how do you see this one going? Do you think it's going to be a boring heavyweight fight, or do you think it's going to be somewhat explosive?
I love that. Great setup there, brother. Appreciate it. This is a fun one. This is a fun to kick off the card here. We got 2 big dogs getting in there. I love how you just phrase that at the end, because it's like it's one or the other. You either get 2 guys going in, leaving it all in there. It's maybe a minute long, but it's the best minute of fighting you're going to get. Or it's the sluggish, no one's really going. They're maybe again, they empty the gas tank. They're kind of just breathing on each other. Or obviously there's things involved. It's not like they're just in there, but it's how it feels to the naked eye, I would say. No, I'm excited about this one. I don't think that'll be the case here. Alexander Romanov, like you mentioned, he's coming in. He was really hyped, but I mean, frankly, he was 16-0 on this big streak, and then he has 2 back-to-back losses. Marcin Tybura is one of them, who did also beat Igolov, so that's something to consider. I hope I said that right. Ivanov. Oof. Make sure Ivanov. Check myself there. But that's again, Marcin Tybura, someone that has a win over both of them, and then for Alexander Romanov, also lost to let me make sure I'm getting all the names right here. Alexander Volkov, who, I mean, hey, both are staples in the heavyweight division. Those are no slouches by any means. So, I don't think we should discredit them for both coming off a couple losses. If anything, we know these guys are hungry. They're going to come in, leave it all out there. I'm expecting Alexander to mix it up. He's more busy when it comes to like getting the takedowns, trying to do what King Kong does, and that's Donkey Kong smash you in the face. So I'm expecting a bunch of that to happen. I think you mentioned Ivanov being Blagoy being very game. He's going to be well coached. He's going to be disciplined. He does have that scar, and apparently he did get stabbed. I don't know if that was gang related, but that surgical scar was because he got stabbed in the chest and lives to tell the tale. So dude's a savage. Let's just acknowledge that. But no, I think Alexander Romanov is going to find a way to get this done. I'd be surprised if he goes the full distance. A lot of heavyweight fights feel like they don't. But it feels like there's going to be some good grappling, some good wrestling exchanges in there, probably some heavy punches until Alexander gets him down and then does what King Kong does and starts giving him the old hammer fist to the face.
Yeah, nothing quite like a good old hammer fist to the face for your troubles,
Like Super Smash Bros, good old DK punch, little slam.
That's what he fights like. He fights like Donkey Kong.
Yep. King Kong, Donkey Kong, he's Konging out there. So that's what I'm expecting. He's going to be strong, maybe a little bit quicker, a little bit faster. I mean, he's bigger, so he's probably going to utilize that.
Absolutely.
So it'll be a fun one.
Should be a really interesting one. This next fight, I'll be honest, we're not going to spend a ton of time on Ivana Petrovic versus Luana Carolina. I think, I could see it going either way. I don't know a ton about Ivana Petrovic. Luana is very lanky, very long. She's very strong. She could go out there and get the finish. I'm not going to be putting any money on this fight or any weight in this fight. Unless you have anything to say about it, we could definitely move on to Guram Kudrdaladze. Fantastic.
No, excited for it.
Moving right on. Guram Kudrdaladze coming in against Elvis Brenner. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, fight fans of all shapes, sizes, and ages, if you don't remember who Elvis Brenner is, he's the guy that got brought in on short notice to go against Zubaira Tukhugov, and basically got Zubaira Tukhugov cut from the UFC. Definitely excited to see what this guy's able to do. He's a Brazilian named Elvis, so that's exciting. Across from him is Guram Kudrdaladze, who is just an absolute stud of a human being. He's another one of those beasts out from Georgia. His last fight out, he did lose a very close, razor-thin split decision to Damir Ismagulov. I thought Damir Ismagulov retired after that due to health issues, but for whatever reason, here he is fighting this week on the main card. So we'll get into that later, but how do you see this fight going between Guram Kutateladze and Elvis Brenner?
This is an interesting one, man. This is a fun one, right? Like you said, I feel like it's a toss-up. It was hard for me to pick one here, although Vegas says otherwise, because I do feel like Elvis Brenner, he's a savage, man. We've seen him come in on short notice and win the fights he's not supposed to win. He's 25 years old. He's got the Charles Oliveira beach blonde haircut. I just have a feeling maybe we're going to see some shades of that in there. He's a little bit more busy on his feet when it comes to the striking, a little bit more accurate, a little bit more busy. But Kutateladze, love that name. It's really cool. He has, maybe more paths to victory here. Can he use his experience? Can he use some of his grappling, his cage work, his takedowns? Can he muddy it up? Can he get Elvis on his back feet? Feels like he probably could, but hey, man, we will have a good underdog. I think I'm taking Elvis here. Maybe not in the betting, maybe not on DraftKings, but in my heart, I'll be rooting for him. Putting a shot up, that's for sure. Oh, I don't know if I can hear you, brother.
I am on mute. I apologize. Yeah. Rookie mistake. That's a solid pick, man. I think Elvis is a really, I don't know that he's the safest bet in the world, but he's a game pick, man. I'm not against it. I'm not mad at that pick by any means at all. I'm going with the Georgian Viking. Guram Kutateladze, I think, has a little bit more paths to victory here. 7 KOs, TKOs, 1 submission, 4 decisions. Your guy across from him has 1 KO, 11 submissions, and 2 decisions. So I guess they have very similar paths to victory in the fact that they both have many means to get there. The paths are simply different. If Guram gets it done, he's going to either wrestle you or TKO you. If Elvis gets it done, he's going to submit you, realistically 9 out of 10 times. Or in his case, 11 out of 14 times. So again, the guy's a submission machine. He can definitely get the submission on somebody like Guram Kutateladze, especially if Guram gets greedy out there and goes just relentlessly for wrestling. I could see him setting himself up for his own demise and getting submitted by Brenner while Brenner's on the bottom. So maybe I'll do a shot on that night with you. Or rather, I'll do a shot so you don't have to. Moving into the next one, we have Yana Santos, formerly known as Yana Kunitskaya, coming in against Karol Rosa. Honestly, those that know me know I love the female fights. This isn't one I'm super duper stoked on. I think it's going to be a fun fight. I think it might be a little bit back and forth. Karol Rosa's coming off of a loss to Yana Kunitskaya, Norma Dumont. And Yana Kunitskaya is, what is she coming off of a loss to? I feel like she's coming off of a couple of losses, right? Foxy Yana Santos. Yeah, she just lost to Irene Aldana and Holly Holm. So again, both of these ladies are looking to bounce back. Likely at least one out of the two of them is fighting for a job here on Saturday night. If I had to put money on it, gun to my head, I would say Yana Santos gets it done over Karol Rosa. But again, it's not something that I'm going to put on my bet versus bet this week.
Oh, get myself off mute here. I love that analysis, brother. I think I'd agree with you. I don't have too much more to add. I think you hit the nail on the head. Karol Rosa, fun fighter. She's game. But I do think Yana, Foxy. I was trying to look at the Foxy part there. Santos. Is she married to Thiago Santos? Is that the Santos in there?
She is.
Okay. Yeah. You got to expect that he's keeping her sharp and not in a good way, I'll say. Not in the John Jones way or another way. Not the name drop, but yeah, brother.
Dangerous waters.
Yeah, I think Santos gets it done. She seems to be more well-rounded. I think she'll find a path to victory here.
I think Yana Santos gets it done. Excuse me. In this next one, we're gonna go ahead and skip the direct next one, but we gotta go over the preliminary main event here. as Chael Sonnen would say, where does Kevin Lee fit into this? And I think he fits in right at the main event of the prelims here against Hinat Fakhretdinov. I think this is going to be the biggest test of Hinat Fakhretdinov's entire career thus far. I've only bet against Hinat one time, and that was against Brian Battle. In that next Brian Battle fight, Brian Battle came out and absolutely murdered a young man. So, I mean, I don't know what Brian Battle showed up against him this last time. If it was the same one, then, man, Hinat can probably beat a ton of guys in this division. I don't know if he can beat everybody and become a champion, but he can beat a lot of guys. And he can work his way up to the top quite a bit. That being said, the man that stands across from him is somebody that goes out and he loses to guys that he's supposed to beat. And he beats guys that he's supposed to lose to. Like, again, I'm just going to go out there and say it. Last time I bet against Kevin Lee was when he fought Gregor Gillespie. We all remember that freeze frame knockout of Gregor Gillespie literally just falling in slow motion. Just
one of the nastiest
frozen.
ever. That thing was crazy. Crazy knockout.
You haven't seen Gregor fight since then.
I think that changed him. That thing was...
That was 3 years ago.
Kicked him in oblivion.
And Gregor Gillespie was supposed to be the next, like, the American Khabib.
I know, huh? And Kevin Lee necessarily hasn't done too much since then. I mean, he fought Diego Sanchez in Eagle FC, but yeah, man, that was crazy. Up and down, man. But our boy Kevin Lee, he's a fun one. Yeah, he's someone I feel like I want to root for. He's been around for so long. He's kind of what feels like someone from that old generation, right? Someone that, you know, if you've been watching UFC for longer than the last few years here, you know it. He's old time. He's been around for a long time, and it's crazy that he's only 30 years old. I feel like he's been around so much longer. But again, Kevin Lee, he's talented. He has ways to win. And hey, you would think
would you say that Kevin Lee is a bit of a dog?
Oh, I mean, if he cracked open his chest tomorrow, you'd see nothing but dogs in there. Come on now, some pit bulls. He's got a built like one too, man. He's got those long arms. He's stocky.
That's a perfect segue into our sponsor. This video is brought to you by Nano's new up and coming book. He's a dog. Make sure you pick up He's a Dog, written based on true events by Nano, Jive Turkey.
I mean, look no further than those endorsements. I mean, we got Ricky Bobby. We got... what more do you need than that? That is phenomenal. I appreciate my ad company for putting this together.
Just in case you don't get the satire, obviously a joke. But once we do get sponsors, that's what you guys have to look forward to. Put that together myself. Obviously, those testimonials were all legit. I would never fabricate that kind of stuff. Thank you, Ricky Bobby, Sarah Michelle, the other guy, forget his name. But, you know, great
phenomenal
times. And
stand
honestly,
up people.
The book is in progress. It's based on true events of the dogs in the UFC.
There's a lot of them. There's different types, right? I mean, just like breeds of dogs now, you know, there's all different types of combinations. There's unique breeds.
There's the Sugar Shans of the world, a.k.a. the teacup poodles of the world.
The poodles. Still a dog. Still a dog. Just a poodle dog.
You know what I'm saying? There's all kinds of dogs.
That was fantastic. I'm still in awe. I need that book. I want it framed. I'll put it back here, over here on the mantle.
We're gonna have to get it printed, put it on the mantle.
That's right.
So obviously we're both going for Kevin Lee, but I think a little bit of our brain is leaning towards Hinat. Yeah.
The heart and the brain are two, you know, they coexist, but they are separate entities here. Let's be honest, right? I love Kevin Lee. I think I'd love to see him do good. And it's unfortunate that the UFC did not give him a favor here and actually stuck him in against a straight savage dog. This is one of those big, furry, mastiff, lion-looking dogs that, like, I don't even know exist anymore. But yeah, he's very impressive, man. He's what you would say very meat and potatoes. Simple, but gets the job done, dude. He's very impressive. 20-1. you know, Brian Battle's a big name. No one else necessarily that's like huge status wise. But man, when you watch him, it's nothing too crazy. He's not overly explosive, overly athletic. He's not too muscular. Mean potatoes, man. He just serves it to you hot and ready.
He's like a Little Caesar's pizza, man. He's always hot and ready.
Absolutely.
Thank you for setting me up for that. So moving into the next one, we have another young man that you may remember, especially if you're a big bettor and you had any parlays going on. I don't know, maybe during UFC 283, Teixeira versus Hill, probably in favor of Gregory RoboCop Rodriguez. And this guy is probably not one of your favorite fighters, if that's the case. I can relate. His name is Bruno Ferreira. He goes by the Hulk. You definitely saw why. He did this beautiful move where he faked a hook, threw a cross, faked a hook, threw a fake, and then as soon as Gregory was lulled to it, he's like, "Cool, I can move forward." He's just throwing feints, and then connected with a real hook, and Gregory woke up and probably had to be told he lost that fight. You hate to see it, but I'm excited to see Bruno the Hulk Ferreira fight. The man's coming in here against Nursultan Ruziboyev. You can just call him Black if you want, at the risk of getting canceled. That's his nickname. I didn't make that up. That's his actual nickname. The crazy thing is he's not black. I don't know if that's okay, actually.
I mean, yeah.
We're just gonna call him Sultan.
Yeah, Sultan.
Yeah. So Sultan, you can't say it like that either. That'll get us canceled too.
Oh. Just can't win anymore.
We can't win anymore. Sultan versus the Hulk. So, man, I mean, this guy, he looks like a stud, dude. He's 34-8. But I feel like if I took an hour and combed through his victories, they're probably over a bunch of guys that are like 0-18. That being said, he's got 12 KOs, 20 submissions, and 2 decisions. The man's a finisher. He's finished 32 out of 34 wins. And when he loses, typically he loses a decision. So, I mean, that's to say that he's always going for a finish, in my opinion. He's coming off back to 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 back. Like literally every win that he's had since his last loss to Boris Miroshnichenko. Shout out Boris, the homie.
Dude, you're getting these pronunciations down. Shout out Boris.
I practiced a little bit.
Attaboy.
You know what I'm saying? He fought a lot of Russian guys. I was like, pick and choose who you want to say.
Choose the right ones.
You know? But his most recent win is over Pavel Masalski, and it was an armbar. Like before that, he got a Kimura. Before that, he got a TKO. The guy is just, again, he's a finisher, but so is the guy standing across from him. The man's 10-0, 7 KOs, 3 submissions. It's hard to bet against the unknown, but damn it, I'm gonna go for the Hulk in this one, man. Under my head, Hulk gets it done.
Oof, I love that, man. Maybe I have something against the Hulk because he did beat our boy RoboCop, aka Mr. Mean Mr. Clean. But yeah, you know, Bruno he's a savage. He has some heavy hands, but we've not seen him tested. I think that's for me where I would have to bet against him, especially now looking at our boy Nursultan's record. First off, 42 fights. This dude's 29 years old. He's got 34 wins under his belt. I don't care who he's fighting. He could be fighting Joes off the street. He could be fighting the drunk college kid outside a bar. I don't care. That is super active. That's very impressive. And he's finding ways to get them out of there. He's getting them done. So the more I think about it, the more I see, you know, Bruno and him going out there just, you know, seeing whose cojones are bigger in the first couple of minutes, swinging, banging. And one of them's going to go out. I think that's probably what's going to happen here. But I think I'm leaning Team Black. I'm going Team Black.
That's solid. I'm not against it. And it looks like it's going to be a lot of shot versus shot.
Someone's getting drunk. We'll see. Hey, man, that's how it is.
We'll see. We're going to be doing a lot of Instagram calling back and forth for sure.
Yes.
Man. All right. Well, that's settled. Moving into the next one, we got one of them Bonfim boys, Ismail Bonfim, coming in against Benoit Saint Denis. If you're from the South, you would probably say Benoit Saint Denis.
He is French, so Benoit.
You know what I'm saying? So Benoit Saint Denis going in against the man, the myth, the legend, one of them Bonfim brothers. He goes by Moretta. His last victim was Terrence McKinney, who he destroyed with a flying knee. Fun fact, Terrence McKinney has not been knocked out by everybody he's fought. Obviously, that would be wild. But every single time he's been knocked out has been by a flying knee. You can look it up. It's a real thing.
And this last one was like, man, like viewer discretion advised. That thing was crazy.
It was honestly, it was beautiful to see. But as a Terrence McKinney fan, and as you know, as a Terrence McKinney fan, I'll just say that. As a Terrence McKinney fan, it was painful, man. The way he went down, he went down, and again, it froze his body. His brain backfired. He went down in slow motion. It was tough to see. That being said, Ismael Bonfim, the guy's an absolute stud. He is coming in against somebody who, again, is another finisher, right? 2 TKOs, 8 submissions out of 10 wins. I don't know how good you are at math, but that's 10 of 10, ladies and gentlemen. There's no in between for this guy. He finishes you no matter what. And again, his only one loss came by way of decision. So probably not a big fan of decisions. That loss, I should say, was in his opening UFC fight against Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos, who is a pretty game fighter in my opinion. I think Elizeu is a beast. He's still in the UFC. His last victim was actually just this month, at the beginning of the month. It was Abubakar Nurmagomedov. And before that, he beat somebody else that we're looking at here. It looks like he beat Benoit Saint-Denis. So, that's worth noting. So again, Benoit Saint-Denis is a beast, but he's not undefeatable, right? That being said, the guy going against him has 6 decision wins and 0 decision losses. If this fight goes past the 10-minute mark or even the 8-minute mark, it favors Ismael Bonfim. For that reason, I got Bonfim in this. I just think he's the more well-rounded fighter. Obviously, the fan favorite might be Benoit Saint-Denis because when he goes out and fights, he gets a finish or he loses a decision trying to get a finish. But you know, I'm an old dog. I don't care if you finish every single fight. I care if you win every single fight, or if you win more often than not. So my money's on Bonfim in this one. Who you got, Nano?
Let's go. We're agreeing, brother. I just will add my 2 cents to what you said. Oh shit!
You know what? You're right, Blackato. Thank you for correcting me. I always, if you guys are listening to me and I spout some bullshit, please fact check me. Gregor Gillespie did have another fight. He did come back one more time. He fought in 2021 and he did win by TKO. Fuck. I need to look up who that was. You're right.
While you're doing that, right, that's a solid one. Appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, and you know, well, it feels forgettable. It feels like forever ago, right? Nothing notable. We haven't seen him on the radar since. Felt like
Diego
that kind
Fajeda.
Oh,
that's actually a solid win. Actually.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what's next for him. I mean, who knows with injuries or just trying to line up a fight? You never know. It's tough these days. Hopefully we see him back soon. Then let's get it. But yeah, man, just to add my 2 cents to this fight, I agree with you. I think we're both taking shots, if anybody, or we'll just at least enjoy watching a good fight here. But yeah, you mentioned it well. I mean, Benoit is very durable. He's someone that's going out there, puts his heart in his sleeve, ex-military guy. I mean, he's, you know, disciplined. He's going to come and leave it all out there. But I'm thinking Ismael, man, I mean, especially after that victory over Terrence McKinney, I think he's just up and to the right, man. He's another one of those guys that's young, very technically sound, has the look. He has his brother there as well. There's a lot you can sell behind this guy. Let's pump him, man. Let's get him into this freaking big industrial, system here to blow him up. Let's make him the next star. I like this kid a lot, man. Him and his brother are super talented. Why not? Let's see a good victory. Earn 50K. Earn a sponsor or 2. Come this way as well, and let's get it.
Absolutely
Bonfim.
Love it, man. Bonfim all day, baby.
Let's
That's who
go.
my shot's on. That's who my money's on.
That's right.
And moving into the next one, we got Ariane Lipski, the queen of violence. She touched my hand at UFC San Diego.
No.
She gave me a high five. Yeah, when she was walking out. Okay,
Lucky.
Fun fact. Drew's going to love it because I'm going to tell this story literally till the day I fucking die.
Let's go.
We had a deal, me and Drew. We went into this arena with a deal. He loves what's her name? The girl that fights out of Team Alpha Male. Oh my god, it's gonna kill me. Oh my gosh.
Still fighting or older?
She's still fighting. She's gone up and down in weight classes. Oh, this is her right here. What's her name? Cynthia Calvillo. So Cynthia Calvillo was on the card. He loves Cynthia Calvillo. He wanted me to get a picture of him or a video with him, like, because we were right where the fighters walk out.
Right.
So I was like, all right, cool. I'll get a video of you like slapping hands with Cynthia Calvillo, and you get a video of me slapping hands with Ariane Lipski. And bro, I got like a crisp Ultra HD 4K video of this guy. Like, yeah,
nice, solid, yeah.
And bro, I hand him my phone. I have it all set up. It's ready to go. I'm like, here, you just hit this button. It's already on video. It's already set up to go. Blah blah. Point name. Good to go. Oh my god, here she comes. Screaming like a little girl. And I'm like, Ariane! And she holds her hand out. And I'm like,
hey, oh, nice.
And I'm like,
Time froze for a second. The world stopped.
Time froze for a second. I melt into a little puddle of happiness for like 25 seconds. And then when I like reform into my full body self, I look over at Drew and I'm all, did you see me turn into a puddle? He's like, yeah, that was sick. And I'm like, did you get it on video? And he's like, hold on. And then I look at the video and it's literally,
oh no.
And then it's basically like his leg
just out of frame. Oh
no, he put the phone down at his side because like he got excited. And he's like, Ariane! So you see his leg and then you see the crowd behind us. But what you don't see at all is me or Ariane Lipski. Heartbroken.
It happened in spirit. I mean, we all know.
And then like 10 minutes later, she loses the fight. She gets dropped. It was upsetting. It was an upsetting night. But in the main event, we got back whenever his boy Dominic Cruz went down and my boy Cheeto Vera was up and he was wearing a Dominic Cruz shirt and I bought the Cheeto Vera shirt the day before. So
let's
we're happy.
Go.
We're good.
We're happy.
We win.
Unfortunate news for Cheeto as of recent. We can maybe, expand upon that later.
We'll definitely go over that in a little bit for sure. Cause I have words, I have thoughts, I have things to say.
Yes, things and stuff. But right Lipski, let's go.
Right now, we got Ariane Lipski coming in against Melissa Gatto.
Our gal.
Man, how do you see this one going, man? I'll let you take the lead on it.
I mean, I'll be quick, brother. I mean, I know you got a lot to say as well, brother. I mean, you literally have the hand-to-hand connection with our girl Lipski. That's fantastic. I mean, what more can I say, brother? I want you to elaborate even further. Let me know what that puddle was like. No, but all jokes aside, yeah, this is a tough one though. I will say, like, Lipski has her work cut out for her. This girl, Mrs. Gatto, Toma Origato. She's really tough. She's young.
Domo arigato, Melissa Gatto. Domo.
Should be a nickname if it's not already. But yeah, she's tough. I don't know too much about her. I know she probably wants to get Ariane on the ground. She doesn't want her to swing and bang with her. But it seems like body wise they're similar. The way they want to fight from distance. But I think Ariane is gonna get it done, man. It's hard for me. Maybe I'm biased, but I do think she has more tools in the toolbox. She can take her to the ground. She has more momentum, and I think she'll take this and run with it. What do you think, brother?
Honestly, I'm agreeing with you for the most part. I think Melissa Gatto is very dangerous on the feet, actually. One of the things that she does better than most of the women in the entire division is when she lands to the body, she lands with deadly intent. Her first win, I believe, in the UFC, she actually injured her opponent's arm. And that's how she won the fight. It was at the end of the second round. So that's terrifying. And then after that, she ended up getting a body kick followed by punches to Sijara Eubanks, Sarge, who is a staple name in the division these days. Her only loss actually came by way of Tracy Cortez via unanimous decision. When the fight goes the distance, she's 2 for 3 winning. So she's good. She's just far less experienced than the Queen of Violence, Ariane Lipski. Ariane Lipski has literally like double the amount of fights as her. Ariane Lipski has almost twice as many wins as Melissa Gatto, and as many, like literally more than twice as many fights as her. So it's going to be a real test of experience here. And I think if Ariane Lipski is able to use her footwork, avoid the body shots early on, she should be able to have the best of Melissa Gatto. And I wouldn't be surprised if she actually pulled it off via submission.
That'd be fun. Yeah, she could.
Got that really nice knee bar.
Yeah.
Wasn't that her? That was her that got a nasty knee bar. Yeah, I think she got a knee bar. Yeah, against Luana Carolina. Yes.
Oh, well, there you go. And she's on the card as well. Go figure.
She's on the card as well. Yeah, and it was nasty, dude. Like I thought her knee was gonna pop out of socket. It was gross.
She's tough, man. She's tough. She's the queen of violence. I mean, come on. What more do we need to say?
And if you want to see really fun fights, sorry to cut you off, Nano. I apologize, brother.
No, all good.
If you want to see some really, really fun fights, and like the fights that honestly, in my opinion, earned her the nickname Queen of Violence, go do yourself a huge favor. A lot of them are on YouTube, guys. Go look up her fights in KSW. Chef's kiss as a martial arts fan. Like, beautiful fights. And nice. The stadiums that they put them on in, like, it just feels like a spectacle. It feels like WrestleMania, but for real fighting. It's sick to watch.
They need to do more of that in the UFC. I think I know what you're talking about there. I can kind of visualize it already. Kind of the big walkout, everything to it. Yeah.
KSW's huge. It's like a Russian promotion. They do kickboxing. Dude.
Like Pride back in the day. KSW. Oh, yes. Dude, I bet.
Very, very similar vibes to Pride. Like when they walk out, the flames and like pyrotechnics blowing up near them. It's sick. Sick. You'll love it.
Spectacle.
Like that's what you're going to end up watching after this today.
Probably. I mean, don't tempt me with a good time. Come on. Come
on. Moving into the next one, we got Max Griffin. Fun fact, the only UFC fighter that I know of that's on LinkedIn. I follow him. I'm definitely in connection with him.
You're connected. Let's go.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He posts a lot of really good stuff on LinkedIn, if I'm being completely honest. A lot of mind coach stuff and just like...
Oh, there we go. I can see him get into that after.
Mental strengthening. Yeah, he's fantastic. So we got Max Griffin coming in as usual. I mean, I feel like Max Payne Griffin, they've done dirty to an extent across his entire career. Like they started him off okay, coming in against Eric Montano, and then after that, again, here's a name that we haven't heard this card. Oh wait, yes we have. Alizio Zaleski dos Santos.
There we go.
He beat one of the guys from 2 fights ago we were talking about.
That's funny.
And who else did he beat? Oh, Max Payne Griffin. Again, the guy's a stud. After that, they made him fight Mike Perry. Then they handed him to Curtis Melinder, who they thought was going to be a name. Then Thiago Alves. A couple fights later, Alex Morono, Alex Cowboy Oliveira.
He's fought a lot of people.
Carlos Condit, Neil Magny, Tim Means. Like the list goes on. The guy's fought a fucking who's who.
Yeah.
Give the kid a break. Instead of giving the kid a break, what are they doing? Well, they're just going to hand him to a young kid who's 14-0 with 11 KOs and 1 submission, 2 decisions.
God.
Like, dude, I genuinely feel bad for the resume of Max Payne Griffin. That being said, Michael Morales has a hell of a test on his hands.
100%.
Max Griffin is no Trevin Giles, and he's definitely no Adam Fugit.
No offense to those gentlemen, but this is...
Yeah, no offense to them, but Max Payne Griffin, I don't know if you remember the old cartoon from the early 2000s, maybe late 90s, Max Steel. That should be his nickname.
Oh, yes. Yes, I love that. He's a gamer, man, this guy, Max Griffin. And let's not let age be the total be all, although 13 years is significant. We're not talking a handful. Even 6, 7 feels like big. Sometimes 13 is quite a big one. But let's not,
even 6, 7 feels big sometimes, bro. Try every time you and me hang out and we work out.
Hey, well, brother, you're leading into my point. You can put it on me still, man. That don't matter sometimes. And again, that's where, the recovery might be one thing, or maybe, after a while. But brother, I'm telling you, 15 minutes in there, when all bygones are bygones, the age thing, I mean, there are some anomalies, right? We got to acknowledge the anomalies out there in the world. A Jim Miller, right? A Cowboy. And honestly, I think there's some shades here with our boy. I do think that Max Griffin, coming out of Sacramento, fought Kobe Covington 7 years ago. This dude's resume, Carlos Condit, legends, love it. This guy's been in there with the best of the best. And Michael Morales, I mean, hey, frankly, I haven't seen enough of the kid. He's a kid. He's 24 years young. I think he probably does have all the tools. This is going to be a big test for him. Is he going to sink or swim? That's my question. Because, I think Max is going to come in, use his veteran knowledge, his IQ. He's going to use his boxing. He's going to get in dirty with him. Can Michael weather the storm? If there's adversity, can he deal with it? I mean, if he just walks through Max, then, man, we got another star. Then all of a sudden, we're talking like, whoa, who's this guy, right? Again, maybe I'm biased. He's fighting out Sacramento. I'll probably end up doing a shot. but I'm rooting for my boy Max here. I think because Michael hasn't been tested enough, a lot of those records in MMA, man, hey, they go away sometimes. That's fine. Losses happen. Lessons are learned. This might just be a lesson for a boy, the young kid, Michael.
Oh, yeah. I believe so. I honestly, if I have to pick a dog in this race or a horse in this race, a dog in this fight, it's Max Payne Griffin, man.
Let's go.
He's an old dog. And the thing about those old dogs is we're going to dogfight analogies here for whatever fucking reason. You know, an old dog in the fight, they might not be as fast. They might not be as
energetic,
gas filled or as energetic, right? They might not have the power of longevity or the spring youth on their side. But the thing is, when a young dog gets bit, they whimper. When an old dog gets bit, they rage. Okay,
let's go. That's great.
Like real talk.
So true.
Mike Tyson says it often. Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face. And
so true.
Once Max Payne punches you in the face, dog, it's different, bro. Like, thank you for going again. This is the second time I've been corrected on this show, and I fucking love that. I don't ever want people to blindly be like, oh, this guy's right. He did the research. Because I literally went back. I thought far enough, but you went back one fight farther. His debut fight in the UFC was fucking Colby Covington.
Let's go.
Guy's still like number 3 or number 4 in the division, Colby Covington. So the fact that that's the first guy that Max was handed to in the UFC, like, come on, this man is a stud in every single sense of the word. Kansas Party Boy 2. What's up,
Let's
man?
go.
Guy, how we doing? Welcome to the stream. Love to have you.
We got the Arizona Party Boy. We got the Cali Party Boy. It's a bunch of party boys out here. Let's get it.
Let's go. All
Great
the
to see
parties.
you,
All the
brother.
parties. Great to see you. Great to have you in the stream. Right now, we're talking about the upcoming UFC card, and we're on Max Griffin versus Michael Morales. Feel free to drop your picks in the chat. Would love to see them.
Absolutely.
We're both riding on Max Griffin pretty hard. Obviously, not discrediting Michael Morales, the young dog in the fight, but we're a couple of old dogs, so we got to pull for our kind here. Max Griffin all day. Moving into this next one. This next one is honestly, for me, potentially the most interesting fight of the entire card. Maybe not the best fight, maybe not the most exciting fight of the card, but man, it's an interesting one. We got Damir Ismagulov coming in against Grant Dawson. Grant Dawson is one of these up-and-comers that's looked really good since his kind of UFC conception, so to speak. And then Damir Ismagulov is someone that's looked just as good since before he's made it to the UFC. The only thing is, again, correct me if I'm wrong here, but Damir Ismagulov is a fighter who doesn't openly say that he's deaf, but he is definitely a deaf fighter. One of like 2 that I know of. The only other one was back when John Jones made his debut. He was fighting. He hasn't fought in some years. He's actually the only person that has a win over John Jones, and it was because of the DQ Jones got. But Damir, in his last fight, he lost to Arman Sarukian, and he retired due to health reasons. But that was just in 2022, December. That was not that long ago. He's back. It's definitely going well, Kansas Party Boy. Again, glad to have you in the chat, my friend. Hope you're doing well also.
Let's go.
So, Nano, am I living in bizarro world here? That happened, right? Like Damir retired.
Yeah, and I think he is going to be retiring after, if I'm not mistaken. I'm quickly looking here online. But I have a feeling I don't know if he's come out and said it yet. Yeah, this is an interesting one. I guess when it's someone like this, it's 1 foot in, 1 foot out. He is young. Who knows what issues are going on there or personal stuff. He's one of the faster guys in the division, maybe in the UFC. That was one thing that stood out to me. You literally type it in YouTube and his name comes up and it's fastest guy in the UFC. But it's for a reason. He spins fast. He's quick. It's like, no, not a lot of time thinking about his strikes. It's coming fast and with some heat on it. He is very impressive to me in terms of his skill set. But I mean, and his record speaks for itself. 24-2, only lost to Arman Sarukian, who's a savage. Like, that guy had a great performance his last bout a few weeks ago. So, I mean, that doesn't diminish him at all in my book. And he's going up against a dog, a guy in Grant Dawson who has a great blue steel face, by the way, if you look on his Sure Dog photo. But 29 years young, 19-1. He's ascending. He's 13 submissions, his best bet here is to neutralize this guy's speed and striking by getting him on the ground and choking him unconscious. Get your hands on him, make him uncomfortable. It's probably what's going to end up happening here. But until then, I think this is going to be a really fun co-main event. It's happening for a reason.
I definitely agree. I mean, Grant Dawson is 19-1. The one time that he's ever lost was literally way back in 2016, which is a whole lifetime ago in fight time. And that was 35 seconds into round 1 by a dude named Hugh Pulley. Being completely honest, never heard of Hugh Pulley. He's 9-6. His nickname is the Wolverine. Fantastic nickname. He's a Bellator fighter. But I mean, like, he's had an up and down career. That win over Grant Dawson was at Cage Side Promotions. Oh, dude, shout out Kansas City Party Boy. Because it happened. You're not going to believe this. I swear, it's like fate tonight, my guys. It happened literally at a Kansas City promotion.
Let's go.
Like, seriously, backyard. What are the odds of that? It happened at KCFA, Kansas City Fighting Alliance 18. So shout out to the Kansas guys here. Representing the homies.
Let's go. Small world.
You love Small to see world. It, dude. Grant Dawson, though, KGD. The guy has only lost one time, like I said. And being somebody that's trained, it did, Kansas Party Boy. I swear to God, I just looked it up like Sure Dog. That's a fact. You can look it up. You can Google it. So, like, here's the thing. Like, I've trained before. I've sparred before. And I'm getting the itch to start training again and start sparring again. I'll be completely honest.
Let's go. So do it, brother.
Look out at a gym near me.
Come on.
Right after fight week, I think I'm probably going to start doing it. I just don't want to go because my luck, I'll get injured the week of fight week. And be like, well, I'm walking.
Just a little excited. I feel that. Just a little excited in there. Got a little amped up. Get through the fight week. Cat got out of the bag just for just a second. Tiger out the cage.
Tiger out of the cage. So again, having that background, having trained, let me tell you, the first minute of sparring is the worst minute of sparring in the world because you're not warmed up, you're not ready to go. So when I see that somebody gets knocked out like a Jose Aldo in 12 or 13 seconds, or like a Ben Askren in 5 or 6 seconds, or like a Grant KGD Dawson in 35 seconds, especially by an elbow, dude went out there and literally just got pummeled by a bone. It happens. It happens to the best of us. It happens to the worst of us. He's definitely not the worst of us. The man has one loss. That being said, I got to echo what you said, man. That was a tough sentiment. Damir Ismagulov. They say, when God giveth, he taketh away. And when he taketh away, he giveth. He tooketh away Damir's ability to hear, and he gave him the ability of the fucking Flash. Guys like Barry Allen out there. He's like, the way that he spends, like, seriously. Suffer and Succotash, the guy's a Looney Tune. And I'm not talking about just any, I'm talking about the Tasmanian Devil. He spins so fast. He's got such veracity and velocity and every other word that, all those osity words that are great adjectives. He's a terrifying individual. He did, I read that he had one fight left in his contract. He wanted that fight to actually be a rematch against Arman Sarukian. He wanted to give the fans what they promised, which was a knockout, an explosive fight, which they weren't able to give. Just like you just threw up in the chat there, as Blacado said, Ismagulov did retire, but he's honoring his last fight on his contract. That is correct. He did want it to end up being against the last person that beat him. That didn't play out. There's a chance he doesn't retire after this. If he comes out here and gets a win, maybe he asks for an extension, and then he gets, a little bit of a 1 or a 2 fight deal. Ismagulov motivation versus Grant hunger is the best way to put this. I think that's a great way to put this.
Double tap that one. Yeah, that's the verdict here, right? That's the $1 million question on this one. Is he still motivated? I mean, we know he has the skills, but if it starts to get a little fuzzy in there, which Grant's going to make it a little fuzzy, he's going to make it a little hairy in there. Can he weather the storm? That and Ismagulov, I don't know.
I'm just going to throw this out there. This is where we start to get really bad with it. I'm going to put a double shot on Grant Dawson.
Ooh, hey, by this point, too, you're already feeling nice and loose.
I'm going to put a double shot on Grant Dawson because he beat Marco Madsen in his last fight. And not only did he beat the Olympian, dude's nickname is literally the Olympian. He beat him with a submission. He beat a wrestler who got gold in the Olympics.
He got him to the ground and got him in a compromised position and choked him out. Come on.
Okay, here's the thing. sorry, we're gonna dwell on this one for just a second, guys. Like, this is kind of big. Not only did he submit an Olympic gold medalist, but he submitted him with a basic rudimentary skill. He RNC'd him, people. He rear naked choked him. Like, I can rear naked choke you, but that's because like I've trained and you haven't trained. If you've trained and I haven't trained, and I rear naked choke you, you are a joke, bro. Like, you're laughing stock to an extent, right? Because like that shouldn't happen. You are far better trained than me, but he made it happen. And this is something that I have to explain to a lot of newcomers to the sport that are I hate the term casuals, but I don't mean it in a derogatory term. Like, casual fans are someone that's casually watching for fun. They haven't trained. They're new to the sport. So as I say it, casual fans are watching and they see something like this happen and they're like, well, I mean, that doesn't make any sense. And this guy's supposed to be a better wrestler. Olympic wrestling versus MMA wrestling is very different. Just like Olympic judo versus MMA judo, very different. Olympic, if there was Olympic Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Olympic Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu versus MMA Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's different because in BJJ, in wrestling, in judo, I'm not allowed to punch you or knee you or elbow you in the temple or the jaw or the nose. But if you come in on a double leg and I'm able to get a nasty crossface and elevate your head just enough to hit you with a cheeky uppercut, my guy, your double leg loses a little bit of its momentum. I promise you. Like, I don't care how game and tough you are.
Yeah. I don't care how great you are at a double leg takedown, whatever. You could get Ben Askren real quick here and catch this knee and a 2-piece and a soda
and even if
on
it
the
doesn't
way
connect
out.
to your face, like, bro, like I've had so many times where we're doing like full MMA sparring where takedowns are available and things like that, where we switch opponents every 5 minutes if Coach Tomas was doing it, right? So like there'd be 5 minutes where I'd get wrestle fucked out of my mind. And then there'd be another, like, he'd be like, all right, cool, switch opponents. And I'm so fed up with getting that. Like, the guy took me down in the first 10 seconds. I got effed for the last 4.5 minutes. I'm not letting that happen again. So the next guy that shoots in, I'm hammering him in the body with a knee.
There we go. There's a little extra in there. You're holding
him in the
that
freaking
one,
rib cage as hard as I can. Like, not as hard as I can. We're going like 50%.
But yeah.
I'm hitting him within reason to deter him from what he's trying to do to me. And that's something that you just simply don't have to worry about or face when you're doing it for a gold medal in the Olympics. It's you trying to wrestle another young man who's trying to wrestle you, not you trying to wrestle another young man who's going to punch you or kick you or knee you or try to break your damn leg. And to the Blackato sentiment, or them Travis Brown elbows from the single leg. For those of you that haven't seen, usually Nano is the one that breaks out these little moves and demonstrations, but it looks a little something like this.
Oh, there we go.
Like,
we're going to see that on the internet tomorrow.
You're shooting in on a single leg. You're going in, or a double leg. You got your hands clasped. You think you've got this guy. And then all of a sudden, you have what feels like the tip of a little blade just going into the temple. And for those of you that have never felt cartilage. That, it kind of feels like the off switch.
It's kind of not good.
You kind of feel like it's like, hey, stop turning the lights on and off over there, big guy.
Where'd my legs go? What happened?
Whoa, my legs got weak.
That's the Johnny Walker, Paul Craig incident there. That's a good example. I mean,
sheesh. So I think, I'm on Grant Dawson with the double. What are you on Grant or are you on Demir?
Gotta go Grant, man. That's the boy. He's got the blue steel.
He's hungry.
American.
The's
He's
no
fighting out
question
American
in the
top
motivation.
Team. Yeah, no question. Win over Jared Gordon. Think his passive victory is getting him to the ground. He's probably gonna choke him out.
Oh yeah,
and then send Demir off into the sunset, which is all good. It's all good.
You'd hate to see it, but at the same time, like it's good to see the kid like Grant Dawson rise. And then after that, you got to give Grant Dawson like a real top 10, top 5 opponent. He's earned it.
A lot of good records throughout this card too. I mean, 20-1. How do you not give this guy a shot? There's been a lot of impressive records on this card. Don't be surprised, y'all. We're going to be hearing about these names more often in the future here.
Yeah. I think this is going to be one of those cards that really is a kind of a stepping stone for a lot of the names that are a part of this card. A lot of these people are going to end up really growing to fruition after this. And I think we're going to see at least 3 to 5 real standout performances in this card on Saturday.
You know what it feels like? It's like a lot of like every other sports organization, football, basketball, baseball, even they all do their all-star game as kind of their big, yearly thing. And this kind of what feels like is coming up as like an all-star weekend for UFC. It's their International Fight Week, pretty much their Super Bowl, or I mean, however you want to cut it, right? But this almost feels like so to my point, right? I think next week's the Super Bowl, the grand the grand ball. But this one, it's kind of the setup. It's this is the next class. In basketball, they'll do like the rookies or the up and comers, right? Yeah, the next class of players. I think this is what we're seeing here. We're going to see that next class of young up-and-comers, people that are not household names, get the buzz going, and then, hey, next week we got all the stars flying. It's going to be a good one.
I definitely agree with you there, man. And I think the main event here is going to be no different. We have Abus Magomedov, as they call him Abus for short because his first name is just ridiculous, really hard to pronounce, Abosupian Magomedov versus Sean Strickland. First thing I want to point out, I got to address the elephant in the room here, guys. For those of you that haven't been here for the last hour of the show, I got to mention a name that you haven't heard yet. Sean Strickland hasn't lost to a ton of people in the UFC, but Nano, you might be able to guess the name I'm going to say here. One of the people he lost to was Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos.
Oh no! By spinning wheel kick and punches. Good lord, who is this guy? This guy's an assassin. This is John Wick. Oh my god!
I'm telling you, like that's why when he beat Abubakar Nurmagomedov, I was like, well, that's all right.
Whoa, this guy.
He's hella good, dude.
This guy's resume is wild.
He's like Brendan Allen in the fact that like he's one of the better fighters that you've never fucking heard of.
Oh my gosh. So he can say I beat a Nurmagomedov, Benoit.
His nickname is Capoeira. Like
a Luigi, Sean Strickland, Max Griffin.
That is literally the name of a martial art discipline. His nickname is Capoeira. Like,
oh, is that? Oh, jeez.
That's literally his nickname on Sherdog. Elizeu Capoeira Zaleski dos Santos.
It's probably not a household name because you can't say the name that well, but that is very impressive.
But I mean, like, he's only lost to 3 people in the UFC. It's a fight
and a dance? Oh, I didn't know that.
He's only lost
Afro-Brazilian.
Capoeira? Capoeira is what Eddie Gordo does in Tekken. It's the dancing, like, MMA.
Sick.
Yeah. That's it. That's his first discipline that he learned before he did MMA. Dude's beast,
no wonder.
Bro. He's so good. Beast. Yeah, his
cool.
only 3 losses in the entirety of the UFC are to Nicholas Dalby, who, fun fact, is undefeated against Brazilians in Brazil. And fun fact, he fought him in fucking Brazil. That's what started that legend for Nicholas Dalby. Yeah,
the Danish Dynamite. Wow.
Other than that, he's lost to Jing Liang and Muslim Salikov. So,
come on, bro. Jeez, this guy's crazy.
Like,
that's funny. Get this guy back in the octagon.
He's a beast, bro.
He's a beast.
So yeah, before we make this entire episode about Zaleski here, Sean Tarzan Strickland, his last 2 losses were to a man you may or may not have heard of named Alex Pajeda, I think is how you pronounce it. He's a crazy Brazilian guy known more for kickboxing.
The champion with heavy hands. Yeah. Now going up to heavyweight. Yeah, I think I've heard of him.
Yeah. Pretty terrifying guy. Fun fact, since that loss, these two have actually been training together. So that's interesting. And then after that loss to Alex Pajeda, he fought Jared Cannonier. He lost. That was back in December. And then literally less than 30 days after a loss to Jared Cannonier, he went out and fought Nasruddin Imavov and got a win in January. What the fuck? Dude is very, very odd. The only thing odder than watching him throw jabs for 25 minutes straight is hearing him talk about women's rights. And he is going in
his press conferences. Oh my gosh.
He's going in against Abus Magomedov, who is 25-4, only has 1 UFC fight to his name before this, and is now getting a main event slot against Sean Tarzan Strickland. So this seems and feels like a very interesting one. If I'm being honest, I would rather these two be the co-main event and the co-main event be the main event.
Yeah, I think it's all around Sean Strickland. He's the big buzz right now. He's getting a lot of fanfare. He's getting a lot of notoriety. And when he's in there, he's going to put on a show, right?
Facts.
It is an interesting one. I agree with you there. I feel like this is it's one of those things. I mean, Sean, I think just being a company guy, willing to fight anybody and everybody, and that's really his style. I mean, he literally just goes in there like a 1980s boxer and just is like willing to throw. Did I say 1980s? Like 1880s. This guy's classic as all hell. Let me at him. I'm interested to see what he'll do in there. If he can frustrate Abbas, because really I think that's the only way he can like get a victory here, if I'm being honest. I mean, I just think Abbas, man, he has a lot of skills. A new name in the UFC, but a very prolific career in the PFL. Impressive 25-4, 14 KOs, 6 submissions. I mean, just watch him. And he's like one of those guys that just looks like he's built, honestly, like Alex Pereira. Like, he looks like he's built out of bamboo. The dude, he's strong. He's a Magomedov. Like, I mean, need I say more? But no, all jokes aside, his striking is impressive to me. I think he'll frustrate Sean. I think if Sean's just going to sit there, and he said he's a dumbass. He's like, I'm a dumbass. I'm going to just walk him down. If you tell me I'm not going to knock him out, I'm going to go try to do it. I don't think
want to do that.
But that's what he's going to do. That's what he's going to do. He's going to go out there, try and just lock him down like he does. And I don't know if Abbas can do what Alex did to him, but I think we're going to see some very unique strikes, some leg kicks, some front kicks, some side kicks, some head kicks, some knees, elbows, head, shoulders, knees, toes. It's going to be a lot. I think Abbas is going to put on a show for us here. And I think he's going to get the win. And I don't know if his striking on ESPN is off, but it says he lands 22.11 significant strikes land per minute. If that's accurate, then whoa. I don't know if that's correct, but that is insane.
Yeah, it is correct. I actually I was going to change up the show a little bit for this episode. Fun fact, I was going to do some of Nate Latshaw's The Statistician on Twitter. I was going to use some of his backdrops for breakdowns here.
There
and
you
have
go.
us talk through those.
I like that.
But when I saw that like 2 out of the 3 fighters I was going to run it for only had 1 or 2 UFC fights, their stats are fucking retarded. Like,
they don't even,
they're ridiculous.
Or they're not even there. It's like, yeah, okay.
So, no, like his are like 28 strikes per minute, and there's like a female on the card who's it's like hers was like it was ridiculous. It was like 90% strike defense and lands like 32 strikes per minute, and I'm like, that's not real.
Yeah,
like she had a 30-second fight.
Yeah, well, that's probably why. Yeah, it's a bit skewed.
For 30 seconds, and girl. It's like that skews heavily the entirety of her UFC career because she's only had 2 fights. But like I was looking at it, I'm like, okay, I can't use this for this.
I can't even use it. I know. I'm like, sense. I was like, maybe I'll bring it up because it's probably a typo. But is that? I guess yeah, because of PFL or whatever and other organizations. Maybe he's fighting mannequin dummies or something out there. I don't know, but impressive nonetheless, man. I mean, he's got it. At least maybe that tells me at a minimum he could keep up a high pace. If Sean's just gonna be in the box the whole time, be in the phone booth with him, then hey, at least I know he can keep the pace.
Absolutely. I mean, but before we get into the bet versus bet sector of tonight, before we get into the, who are we gonna side with here? That, and the other. We do have one more fight to go over. It's actually not one that's going to be on the UFC this weekend, but it is happening. It's going down on July 1st, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to happen at the Commerce Casino Event Center on Telegraph Road in Commerce, California. If you're around the area, make sure you pick up tickets. The main event is Francisco Cisco Rivera versus Twin Dragon Josh Wang Kim. The event is Up Next Fighting number 9, and it has not one but 2 of our friends that we talk to on a regular basis. They're actually in our MMA group chat, and they are fighting on Saturday on that card. It looks to be a really, really fun card. Honestly, there's a lot of really, really fun up-and-comer names on there. Again, these are the people of tomorrow. The people we're looking forward to seeing are Ian Juice Miller going in against Chris the Gator Martinez. We're going for Juice, obviously. And after that, we're looking forward to watching our guy Aiden the Future Ingram coming in against Johnny the Sleeper Robles. Again, if you want to check out both of those guys, Aiden the Future Ingram and Ian Juice Miller, both actually recently did interviews with the Schmo. Shout out to Schmo. He's definitely a bad guy. He's a sick guy, and I've been following him since before he got big. Love to see that guy growing, and also looking forward to watching my guys grow. Now, again, before we jump into our bet versus bet, I do want to talk about some of these regional fights here. Some of these guys are actually making their pro debut on the preliminary fights. Mainly the two that I'm going to go over here are Chris Martinez, who's 2-4 as an amateur, and my homie Ian Juice Miller, who is 2-5 as an amateur. You know, there's a lot of bias going into this because Ian's my boy, right? Bias aside, he's had a little bit of a tough run for the last few fights here in amateur. He's after having a very, very scary good start to his amateur career with a couple of submissions, basically. It's been a tough skid, right? He's lost via rear naked choke, a couple submission losses here and there, and that's something that you can promise that he has definitely tightened up the holes on. I doubt this man is going to get taken down like he did in his last fight, and more so than that, if the fight goes to the ground, I am more than confident that Ian Juice Miller is going to be ready and prepared and willing wherever this fight goes. His opponent, Chris Martinez, not taking anything from him. The dude seems very game. I mean, the guy's nickname is the Gator. I mean, I'm a Louisianian myself, born in Florida, you know, shout out Florida Gators. But I think even though he's coming off of a far more recent win against a young man named Bryce Olivas, the guy that he beat, Bryce Olivas, he was 0-2. And I just think that Ian's going to bring a wealth of experience that this man is not used to. His two wins that he does have are against a young man that's 0-2 and another young man who was 0-0 going into the fight and is now 0-1. The other guy that he beat was 0-2 is now 1-4. So again, I'm not saying that he was handpicked these opponents, but I can promise you they weren't Juice. And I think Juice is going to go out there and he's going to get the job done. I'm going to go ahead and call it. I could wholeheartedly see Juice going out there and getting it done in the very first round via submission. If it goes into the second or third round, I think Juice gets it done via knockout. What are your thoughts on this fight, Ian? I mean, Nano. Sorry, I'm on the Ian train.
Yeah, on the Juice train, baby. Let's go, man. Huge shout out. Been rocking with him for a while now. And this is a big one, man. He's got a big test on his hands. You know, this guy, like say, Chris Martinez. Don't let the record fool you. He's tough. He's, I guess, in a way, finding his backyard. Find out of SoCal there. Hey, our boy Juice, man, you know what he's gonna bring. He's gonna bring the juice. Cartons full of it. He's gonna fill up the octagon with a bunch of it. He's got all the tools, man. And again, maybe we're a little biased. We get to see it firsthand, but we see him in the gym working. Him and Aiden sharpening iron. Even Juice being really what it seems to be like a captain in the as part of the team, as part of the dojo. Like he's out there helping coach, helping train, being part of like demonstrations. You don't do that if you're some student that's just skating by. It's because the coach trusts him. He knows what he's bringing to the table. And frankly, I think he's going to finally be able to showcase what he's got and ride the momentum here and put on a good show for us. I'm excited. Make sure y'all tune in, man. It's a good one. It's a next class, Absolutely. Like you said.
It really is the next class. And like his guy, Aiden Ingram, the guy that he introduced us to, who's now part of our MMA family, our MMA group chat, like that guy, his nickname is The Future. And I've watched his last few fights. I truly do believe that. I think that he has a ton of potential to be the future in that division. He's got nasty groundwork. He's got even nastier ground and pound. And the thing that I actually like most about Aiden Ingram is, I mean, other than his Tapology picture, which just looks like the face he's making on Tapology, if you look up Aiden Ingram, just looks like, all right, guys, can you take the picture? I need to go punch someone in the face. I'm bored with this. So I love the guy's Tapology picture, but more than that, like the fact that when he gets punched, he has the innate response to get angry and punch back. He fights almost like Dustin Poirier back in featherweight. When Dustin Poirier, as soon as he'd get hit, he's like, all right, we're in a fucking fight. Let's go, boy. That's how Aiden fights, and I really enjoy watching it. He's got a fire in him that's unique. Fantastic amateur record too. Guy had 5 amateur wins and 3 losses. Again, a lot of people skip through their amateur career. They try and just kind of lollygag through it and jump right into the pros too soon. He did not do that. Built a solid foundation, and since building that solid foundation, he's actually racked up 2 professional wins. Both by way of submission, guys. He got a second round submission in his first fight, Freedom Fight Night 2. Wouldn't you know it, he fought on the very next card for Freedom Fight Night 3, and he got the guillotine choke in the very first round, and it was fantastic to witness live. I remember watching that one. How do you see this fight going for him? I mean, he's fighting another up-and-comer in Johnny the Sleeper Robles. But again, I think our guy gets it done, man.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. You know, we're riding with the home team here. Always. Aiden, brother, the future has arrived, right? We've seen Macy's future arrive. Aiden, your future's arrived, brother. I love the name. Love the way you rock, man. Love the swag. And you're fine at Arizona. You're fine here in my backyard. Let's get it, man. When you're outside of camp, maybe we'll celebrate, let you beat me up a little bit, or go get some celebratory beers. Hey, man, appreciate you. I'm rooting for you, man. Again, you have all the skills. We see you working. We know you're, supporting us as well. And I think one factor here that we got to mention, huge shout out to your head coach, Mark Munoz. Straight dog. Come on, man. You know he's learning from the best there. He's sharp. He's getting better. The future's arrived. Let's go.
Absolutely. Mark Munoz is an absolute beast. Ex-UFC fighter himself. Now he's training the future. Literally, he's training the future. And figuratively, he's training the future stars of MMA of tomorrow, man. And I mean, dude, just, you'd love to see it, man.
Dude, Aiden's ranked number 11 in Arizona for bantamweights. Let's get it. My guy, climbing the ranks.
I do have to point one thing out real quick that Blackato said, just backtrack real quick. He does have a win over Sadibu Sai, and I know he's talking about Amos back in PFL. So, yeah, I mean, that's worth noting. Like, Sadibu Sai was definitely a high
good resume. Yeah, hey, he's got a good resume, man. He's talented. It's like, it's funky, It's like some of those uppercuts he throws, it just looks awkward, but he gets you.
Absolutely. It is very awkward style striking, but my God, he makes it work to his advantage. And just in case anybody's thirsty, we've got another sponsor spot here.
One, two, three, four, oh, yeah.
You gotta support your local fighters, guys.
Oh, dude.
Again,
that is phenomenal. We need to get in touch with his marketing team. That thing was sheesh. I'm thirsty.
Let's go, baby. Thirsty for juice.
Juice.
Guys, again, had to throw that together for my guy Juice. It's fight week. Gotta support local. If you love
put that together?
Yeah, I threw that together.
Bro, yeah, let's go. Hey, man, everybody take notes. Let's get it. I didn't even know. I thought that was like a legit commercial. Stars ain't got nothing on you, bro.
I made that last week.
Let's go. That thing's so cool. Hell yeah. Hey, not just any juice. We're talking about the juice.
Let's go,
and not
baby.
OJ.
Yeah. I had to throw that together for the guy,
This fast, brother.
Dude, yeah. I love making anything that's like exciting, fun, flashy. And if it can get the guy's name out, like guys that I love and appreciate that are part of the family, why not, man? I love it. And thanks in the chat, you guys. Blackato, I'll hit you up after this, my guy. So with that being said, you guys, we've gone over every fight on the upcoming card this Saturday, but that is not the end of the show. As you know, we have one more thing to go through here. It's actually arguably my favorite part of the entire show. It's a little part we call Bet versus Bet, where I let Nano take the screen and then he lets me take the screen. He walks you through his bets for the week. I'm going to walk you through my bets for the week. That way, next Thursday, same time, same place, we can see who lost and who won. and who gets to gloat and who gets to, just kind of soak it all in. So without further ado, Nano, I hope you're ready because you're up, my guy.
Let's go. Thank you, brother. And we're back with some Jive Turkey talk with your boy Nano here. And hey, man, we're bouncing back, okay? I learned from my mistakes. Like a fine wine, we're gonna age. We don't lose around here. We just learn lessons, okay? So I learned from my lesson last week. I do like these 2-pick parlays. Gets a little bit better odds. Trying to get a little bit more spicy with it, But I learned from last week, okay? I'm not going to make the same mistake I did. I'm not going to chase something that feels a little bit too pigeonholed. We'll play it a little bit safer, okay? Get some of these unis back. Get back in a net positive. Let Olin know that, hey, I'm coming ready to play, okay? May lose one round, but I ain't losing back to back, okay? I don't know if do we have them ready? I'll start listing them off here.
Oh, we got them ready. We always got them ready, baby.
Oh, let's go, baby.
Mr. Worldwide.
Hey, is that me? That's gonna be me in a couple of years, though. The fine facial hair, no hair up top, but we'll skip on the left side here. 2-pick parlay. We're doubling down on 2 different parlays here. The one on the left feels like this is me betting with my heart a little bit here. This is the heart talking. These are the guys that I feel with my heart of hearts are not going to let me down. Guys and gals, I should say. Starting with the ladies first here in the bottom. Ariana Lipsky, money line, plus odds. I'm surprised she's the dog here. Give me this underdog. She's, I think, more talented than Melissa Gatto. I think she has more ways to win. She has more at stake. And she slapped hands with my boy MMAnomaly. I think some of that juice, some of this winning energies, the slap hands. I think that's rubbing off. I think she's going to come in here and put on a good show for us and take care of Mrs. Gatto. This underdog's going to take care of the Gatto. Okay. Carrying on from there, after she takes care of business, our boy Ishmael Bonfim, the Bonfim brother, a guy that really made me a fan with his performance and knockout over Terrence McKinney. And as much as I wanted to chase the odds for him to get a knockout or for a submission, I'm playing it safe. I just want him to get a win. Benoit Saint Denis, he's a savage as well. I don't know if he's gonna go out of there without a say. He's gonna come in. He's gonna put his chin on display. I think he's gonna make it tough for Ishmael, but we're gonna find a way to get it done. So I feel good about that one. Plus 275 odds, winner. On the right, this one feels more of the brain pick. Okay, I had to put my feelings aside here. So we love our boy Kevin Lee. We talked about this, but man, Renat Fakhretdinov, something along those lines. I apologize, Renat. He's gonna get it done. I honestly think Fakhretdinov. He emphasizes the Fakhretdinov. I do think that he has a really good skill set. Hey, who doesn't like meat and potatoes? That's what you're gonna get here. It's some comfort food. It's not gonna be nothing too crazy, but he's gonna get the job done. And hopefully Kevin Lee sticks around. I think Kevin Lee will go down with the swing. Hopefully we get some money fights lined up for him. But Renat, man, he's gonna take this momentum, take the star power, and off to the races. And then last but certainly not least, Ibus, who hits like you get hit by a bus. And that's what's going to happen to our boy Sean Strickland. He's going to go out there. Sean's going to be naive. He's going to be cocky. He's going to think he's the top dog. And A-Bus is going to come out there and say, no, I'm Magomed Dog. I'm Magomed Dog this weekend. I'm going to come out here. And I'm surprised, again, getting plus odds. I know Sean's durable. I know he's been in there with some of the elite talent. But just no one knows about this guy A-Bus yet. I'm telling you.
But do you see JJ with the smoke?
Oh, no. Well, I expect nothing less than JJ Smoke, okay? That I respect, and I'd love to hear why you think Strickland's going to get it done. Do you just think, well, I guess those middle rounds or the end of it, okay, fair enough. Well, that is his best path, right? Let's be honest. I mean, this guy, Strickland, he spars hundreds of rounds a week, but hey, man, he's no Magomedov, okay? Let's be real. I might be chasing the odds here a little bit, But this feels like the brain pick on the right, and I got my heart pick on the left. Let's go.
I'm going to be honest with you. I actually like that your brain pick and your heart pick aren't 100% like, favorites on one side, underdogs on one side. You got a little mixed bag on both.
It's a mixture. It's a mixture, man. I mean, Vegas doesn't always get it right. We've seen this. It's easy to take the favorites, right? That's what they want you to do. But sometimes you got to zig when they zag. You know what I mean?
This is an absolute fact, my friend. And with that being said, I think it is just about time. You already know what time it is. It's time for the weekly anomaly. That's my picks. That's my bets. We had enough turkey talk. He was talking turkey to us, and who doesn't love being talked turkey to every now and then? But it's time. It's time for my picks. It's time for me to lean in and lay in and tell you who's really going to bring it on home this week. Fight fans, let's go ahead and pull them up. We got Olin's picks. We got 2.6 units to win 12.7. A whopping haul. What are we looking at here, guys? What are we looking at? We got a couple of singles. We got Hinat Fakhretdinov at minus 225. Why do I think he gets it done? Well, my heart's telling me Kevin Lee, so that's why I think Hinat gets it done. Typically, my heart's wrong, so I'm going with my brain for once in my damn life. Threw a couple, not even a whole unit on that, but a little fraction of a unit on that. We got Ismail Bonfim. As I said before in the episode, one of them Bonfim boys, one of them Bonfim brothers. You already know he's going to get it done, folks. I think he's going to go out there and just put it on Benoit Saint Denis from the beginning of the fight to the very end. Come on, guys. There's no other way this fight goes other than Benoit Saint Denis going out there and getting a finish. But, we're just going to block that out of sight, mind, and memory. Ariane Lipski, the Queen of Violence. You might see that name repeating here because I got her on both. The name's so nice we had to double dip and do it twice. The Queen of Violence. She touched my hand. She knows the plan, and we're going to take the money to the bank, my man. We got a single play on her. We got the parlayed play on her. Both money line. I think she gets it done over Melissa Gatto. Melissa Gatto has the more impressive record thus far. However, Melissa Gatto has a third of the fights thus far. Easy to rack up a more impressive, win-loss ratio when you fought a third of the people. So I think Ariane Lipski is going to get this done. I think she's going to get it done via finish. Moving down the list, we got the dog. The dog. He's the spokesperson of He's a Dog, brought to you by Nano. Grant Dawson, okay? This guy, he's going to get it done over Damir Ismagulov. I don't care if Damir's the deaf Tasmanian devil. Grant Dawson is just, he's live. He's a live wire, and he's got a short fuse. And he's going to blow up on that young man, and he is hungry, he is ready, and he is here. Grant Dawson is here for the taking, ladies and gentlemen. AKA Blue Steel. You know what I'm saying? That face is made of blue steel, son. You can't break it. Moving into the 3-pick parlay, we got another name again. As I said before, you might recognize this young lady, Ariane Lipski, the Queen of Violence. Say less. Plus 185. She's a dog. Okay, as you can see, these bets were actually placed a little bit apart. When I put in the singles, we had a plus 140 on Ariane Lipski. And then I should have waited because now she's a plus 185. The odds have gone up in my favor. Call this Hunger Games. Moving into the next one, we got Abus Magomedov. Money line against Sean Strickland. I think this is going to go in my favor. Obviously, JJ Smoke has Strickland winning the unanimous decision. Why? He says it'll be competitive at first, but as the rounds go by, he thinks Abus will slow down and Strickland won't because he doesn't have the 5-round experience that Strickland has. I actually agree with that. I definitely think that he does not have the 5-round experience that Strickland has. But let me propose something to you, my friend JJ Smoke. Though all fights that are the main event and or title fights are scheduled for 25 minutes, what is the percentage of those fights that make it to the 25-minute mark? I think Abus finishes this fight in the first 2 rounds. This is one of the few times I'm going to sternly stand my ground and go up against JJ Smoke. Love you to death, my guy, but we're standing on opposite ends of the street this time around, my friend. And moving into the main, or not the main, but my main, the last one of my parlay here, we got Hinat Fakhretdinov, minus 205, bringing the parlay up to plus 875. Fight fans, that's a pretty damn good set of odds there for those 3 fights. Hinat, I think, gets it done over Kevin Lee. Again, heart says Kevin Lee, so that therefore I have to bet Hinat, because my heart is typically wrong when it comes to these things. My heart hasn't been right when it comes to many things in life. In fact, the only thing my heart's been right on is my fiance. So just going to stick with leaving my heart to decide that and let my brain decide these fights. And I think because of that, I'm going to get it done this week. Fight fans, I think we're going to knock it out of the park. I think we're going to get it done. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? I think, again, Mr. Worldwide's picks, okay, they're pretty solid. Pretty solid. I don't doubt that
there's
at least
a lot
one
of
of these
risk
hits.
there. Let's be honest, it's risky. But you know what? You gotta gamble a little bit. You gotta play the game, you know? We out here.
I think you're gonna end up hitting net positive.
There we go.
But
Something's
I think it'll be like 1 unit for 3.4. I think it'll be the one on the right.
Yeah, I think the one on the right's looking good. But honestly, if I'm listening to this right now, I think I like the MMAnomaly's picks. And I think I like where you're at. I like where your head's at. And you get some good payouts.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at getting you to turn to the side of the light. You know what I'm saying?
I would recommend it. I'm not going to recommend my bets. They're a little risky there. Proceed with caution, but I do like where you're at.
Did I just get JJ to agree with me?
Let's go.
He said, I wouldn't be surprised if Abus gets it done by KO, my guy. JJ. You see, this is
he
why
could front
I
kick
always
him in the
say,
face. Yeah, no.
It makes sense to have these discussions, you know, because you never know when someone that has a differing opinion to yours might be more like you than you realize. So, I mean, if it goes to the distance, I'll agree with JJ here. I actually think Sean Strickland, every minute it goes past like probably the 9th minute of the fight, it favors Sean Strickland.
Yeah. And that's why JJ mentioned it, man. He knows what he's talking about. If Sean's going to win, it's going to be 3-4-5. Abus is going to come out hot. Sean's going to have to figure him out, frustrate him, get him on his back foot, keep marching forward. And that does eventually happen, you know, unless you're Jared Cannonier, who's an anomaly. He's a dog. You know, Sean usually has his way with most guys. But I'm telling you, man, Abus, man, he's not just an average Joe. You know, again, he's not a household name, but the last time he's seen a decision, you know, I think that was one thing that JJ mentioned is, hey, you know, we haven't seen him go more than 3. Fair. We haven't. He hasn't needed it. Man seeks those finishes. He's getting submissions. He's getting KOs. His last decision was to and Blackato mentioned him earlier. Was our boy blanking on the name. Sadibo. Sadibou?
Oh yeah, Saeed Sadibou. Saeed Sadibou.
So I mean,
he's
very
a beast. That guy
respectable.
was knocking people out left and right in the PFL before that.
Yeah. So
this is actually this is a really great question actually. All right. Actually, first things first, JJ said this. So it's a close fight, but I about to go with the guy with more experience. That's fair. Go with the guy with more experience. I think that's typically a safer bet when it comes to capping and betting, sports betting in general. But sometimes you got to go the risky play here. And I think the risky play is the smart play. I just genuinely think that Abus gets it done. Smarter play may be to just kind of hedge your bets, actually, if you want to wholeheartedly take my advice and just maybe double down here. Go Sean Strickland money line and then go Abus for a finish. Either submission, you can do the double finish. They give you those odds on DraftKings. So you can hedge your bets and then do Sean Strickland money line and then Abus for submission or KO, just finish in general. I think that'd probably be the safe bet there. And then jumping into what the Blackato said here, do we see Strickland grappling? That's a fantastic question. And I don't know that would be the best move because if he does grapple, I mean, we haven't seen Abus have to grapple like that on that level, but I'd like to think his defensive grappling is going to be game and ready to go.
I'm sure it is. Yeah, I'm sure it is. With 6 submission victories, just even his style, and he looks strong. You know, I mean, Sean's a big guy, but I think Evans is going to be the stronger guy here. He's going to be the one landing the harder shots. Just, you know, can Sean put him away? Can he get him uncomfortable? Can he, you know, make things awkward for him? We'll find out. But I think he hits like a bus, man. This guy's different. Just looks different.
Yeah, no, I mean, he is an absolute beast, man. I think this is going to be a big test for him. I think if he's able to get past, you reading the Ron Burgundy comment?
Yeah, I literally struggled with that. Got me. Guilty as charged.
I read the teleprompter as it is. You go fuck yourself, San Diego. So I think Abus is a beast. I am Ron Burgundy. I think he has a lot of paths to victory. I think Sean Strickland's only path to victory is it's one road, and the end destination is a decision win. And the road looks a lot like jab, 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 jab. Slow down. Jab, 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 jab. On to that decision win. So it's just like I like Sean Strickland. I think he's fun. He's a fun fighter. I don't love the things he says outside of the octagon necessarily. But,
oh my goodness, insane!
My God,
oh, cringe. And he just got sponsored by Monster.
I think he genuinely got asked, like, what's your plan? What's your game plan going into this fight? And he then decided to go on like a 5-minute rant on why women belong back in the kitchen.
Oh, he did say some crazy stuff. Yeah,
bro. Like,
yeah.
Okay, hold on. The Blancato. Strickland surprises everyone and shoots a double. If Strickland opens the fight and shoots like a power double, I have no doubt in my mind that he will actually succeed.
I mean, the way is you just
that's
yelling
on
at him.
nobody's bingo card.
Yeah,
like
you won't do it.
That's on nobody's bingo card.
No, but Sean will do it, man. Based off what he was saying in his media scrum, if you tell him he won't do it or you say you can't do it, he'll go try to do it. So someone yell at him in the octagon.
Of like the meme of the really badly drawn guy that's like, I'll fucking do it again. That's Sean Strickland.
Yeah. Do it again. All intense. Yes, that is definitely Sean, man.
I'll do it.
I'll do it right now.
Don't throw me with a good time, dude. I'll do it.
That voice just remind me of something else too. But yeah, man, this is gonna be a fun one. Yeah, I don't know. I guess you never know with Sean, right? I mean, but I guess you kind of do though. You kind of do. You know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a one-way road.
Look, Sean Strickland fight week is kind of like when you hand a 5-year-old a gun. You're not quite sure what's gonna happen, but you know it's gonna make good headlines.
We'll make headlines. And any publicity is good publicity.
Sorry, that was a really bad joke.
That was funny. Very fair. Oh, that's hilarious.
That's actually an interesting take, JJ. He probably would have won the Pereira fight if he grappled.
Just stuck to any game plan, but it's
not marching forward with your hands down at your hips like iCarly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think Abbas is too smart. He's too slick. It'll show. I think it'll be a showcase for him. Again, he's just not a household name. He hasn't been in the UFC long enough, but he would have been being an inch. Oh no. It was it's up there.
For those of you that are only listening to the podcast, the Blackado just chimed into the chat and said that joke was as dark as I am, LOL. And I appreciate my chat.
Just for comparison, for a level,
just a level of comparison,
a little heat check.
So again, this is a great card. This is a sneaky good fight card. I've seen people saying that this is a watered down fight card, not a good fight card. This is the weekend before International Fight Week. If they had two pebbles fighting each other, accept it, because next week we've got a fucking royal card. Okay,
pulling
it's
out all
like the Royal Rumble of the UFC. Like the top three. We got Alexander Volkanovski against Yair Rodriguez. If you're Chael Sonnen, Yair. We got Brandon Moreno coming in against Alessandro Pantoja.
Let's go.
For those of you that have never watched UFC, that's worth watching alone. Have you ever seen McLovin fight somebody? Tune in on Saturday. Robert Whittaker coming in against DDP. Last time you watched DDP in a match, man? Since
Dricus du Plessis?
But this is a different one. Dricus.
Du Plessis. One of the best names. And Rob, our boy Rob, getting back in there. There's a lot of
Nux?
Bobby Nux, man. Hey, everyone tune in. We're gonna be on here for quite some time breaking these fights down next week. It'll be some good ones, and y'all are gonna have
it'll be a really good Tuesday.
Y'all are gonna have a lot to be looking forward to as well. There, man. How you feeling? How's the crew feeling? Excitement?
Feeling good.
Little jitters.
Feeling really good. We'll have to kind of figure out what we're gonna do. We might have to do an extra Wednesday episode or something because I'm gonna be driving to Vegas all day on Thursday, going to the Hall of Fame on Thursday night, going to the presser on Friday. I think like there's the whole day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They're all gonna be very, very busy. Gonna try and get some live content for sure. JJ, don't remind me of that, please, man. This is such a good show. This is such a good show. Don't put that evil on us. JJ Smoke in the chat said, we got to remember after 290 is Home versus Bueno Silva. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is not just a random fight on the card. That is the main event of the card. So, I mean, we're like the first Fast and the Furious movie when the kid loses his dad's car, because he hits the NOS buttons. And then the bad guy looks over and he's all, too soon, Junior. We're doing that. We're blowing all the NOS right now.
Too soon. It was fun while it lasted, though. It was a good.
It's gonna be very fun while it lasts.
Yes.
I'll take it, guys. We'll definitely be here on Tuesday for the post Tough episode. I'm assuming we're gonna get an episode of Tough. There's already been leaks of it. If you guys haven't seen it, don't look. Save yourself from the leaks. But damn it, they're fun. Man.
Yeah, I guess TBD, huh?
There's definitely a lot of fun. I'm just going to say, spoiler alert, I will spoil one line from next week's episode. For those of you that don't want to hear the spoiler, get the fuck out now, okay? Because
You've been warned.
You've been warned. So basically, you see the hand shove, the face shove, the cross face shove heard around the world that they've been basically using as the selling point of the whole season.
Yep.
And McGregor says something to, he's like, someone ought to break your fucking nose or something like that. And then he shoves him back. And I've been wondering since seeing that clip, what is it that he said that got Conor to that point of heatedness, of hatred, of anger, of combustion. And what he says to him is maybe if you started showing up for your fighters, some of them would start showing up for you.
Oh. Talk about death by 1,000 cuts. That's death by a few words. Ooh.
I dislike Conor McGregor, but that hurts, bro.
It's just the truth in it. It's like, oh, that's so real. And that's so
the worst
good.
part of it.
Yeah.
The worst thing about it is the truth in it.
It's like your parent or
if you're like
someone
the nicest
that you
person
look
in the
up
world
to.
and someone calls you a douchebag, you don't even bat an eyelash because you know it's fake. They're just trying to get under your skin. But if you're a bad coach and someone's like, maybe if you were there for your team, they'd be there for you. You kind of want to kill yourself. Like,
I was going to say, I think that's where they hit you with that D word. I'm not mad at you. I'm just disappointed in you.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
I'd rather you hate me. I'd rather you hate my guts. Don't be disappointed in me.
Can you just pull out the wooden paddle or the leather belt and just give me a fucking spanking?
Just
don't hit me with those words.
Stick and let me keep on moving on. Yeah, don't be.
Don't tell me you're disappointed.
Don't say I let you down, Pa, Mama.
Don't do me like that.
Don't do me like that now.
Yeah. So and then I mean the only thing more demeaning than like hearing that is responding by putting your hand in a man's face, shoving it back arguably like 5-6 feet, and his response isn't the least bit scared. It's, I mean, the best way to describe it is if you've ever watched the 90s, the Batman, the animated series, he laughs like the Joker and then says, are we going to fight right here? That's not how you want that situation to play out if you just shoved a man hoping to be intimidating. I mean,
yeah. That's that'll flatten you real quick there. Little piece of humble pie there.
The rest of the clip is just a lot of Conor McGregor pacing back and forth silently, angrily. And what else can you do?
So they probably cut it weird, huh? I'm sure it all doesn't,
it seems more melee. Odd.
Probably can use, if this is pure cussing or whatever, immediately after, probably can't use it. People coming in.
I also would assume that even like the Conor McGregor making like the quips like he did this last week about like, have you ever fought for a championship belt, Michael? You ever fought 25 minutes? Like, I'd imagine he's not even making those remarks until like after there's some stuff that's already been cut. Of like, not even Chandler gloating or anything, but the rest of the team like, yeah, cheering for the team, and that getting under his skin and irking him.
Oh yeah, all the fighters on the team are true. Well, yeah, I'm sure in a way they probably had final say of what
they're trying to save face to some extent.
Yeah, they're not going to make him look bad. I think, and we heard that early on. There was an exchange. I think it was the first one they're promoting where you'll do what you're told, and they just cut it off from there, making it kind of make it feel like that was where it ended. But it's like, obviously Chandler probably chirped back, but they don't show it, so it just looks like Conor, got the better end of the deal, got the last word, and it's like, oh, not what happened.
Yeah,
it's Hollywood for you. It makes it the big show. That's what happens. But I'm excited, man. It's been some entertaining TV. It's been a fun season. Can't believe we're already on the home stretch here. And then honestly, it's unfortunate the news about them not even being able to fight. Hopefully they do, but it's not feeling less and less likely here that we're going to see Conor this comeback tour fighting Chandler. Just doesn't feel like it's
I don't
happen.
think it happens. I just don't think it's ever going to come to fruition. And honestly, if it doesn't, I'm not like, it's not the most upsetting thing in the entire world for me.
Yeah, would have been a good payday for Chandler, a great test, but there's greener pastures. And if Conor has to take longer or wait for Nate to fight Jake and then they figure something out, then whatever. I guess that's fine. I'll see Conor in that capacity, but we know he's not at the top of the class anymore. We know who those guys are, so let's set our expectations, right? This is kind of a different scenario, but it's unfortunate for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. That being said, hell of a show tonight. We really appreciate all you guys coming out and chatting it up with us as usual. Like, you folks are the ones that make the show fun for us, to be completely honest.
Seriously.
That's not a complete lie, because we love mixed martial arts too. But honestly, like,
we do this without the camera.
Blood.
Yes.
Like, you guys breathe lifeblood into us for sure. So we love you just excessively building upon our already just kind of monumental level of hype for these fights coming up. And we look forward to every single bi-weekly or twice a week episode with you guys. Now, we will be back on Tuesday to do our normal recap that we do of The Ultimate Fighter, as well as the recap of Saturday's fights. As far as next week's Thursday episode, we're going to talk a little bit after this and across the weekend to fine tune and figure out when makes the most sense for us. Because again, I'll be traveling all day on Thursday to go to Vegas and meeting the rest of the crew out there. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to the next episode, and I'll keep you posted on times and dates for that. Make sure you follow at Jive Turkey Talk on Twitter, and make sure you follow at MMAnomaly on Twitter. And there's also an at MMAnomaly Show on Twitter, as well as like every other platform at MMAnomaly and MMAnomaly.com. All the MMAnomaly stuff. It's basically MMAnomaly every freaking where. And Kansas Party Boy 2. We appreciate you joining the stream for the first time. We hope that you become a mainstay and a regular to the show, my friend. Looking forward to seeing you all next time. And until then, keep the passion for mixed martial arts alive, and peace.